Diablo 2 is where I started my journey to finding my favorite and what I consider to be the very best action RPG of 2025, and this video is the first pre-rating of the entire series. I was off to a great start of a non-guided, no research run of a barbarian, and I've already put in over 15 hours and still have not beat Act 4 on just normal difficulty. After dying over 20 times, I finally caved and I had to look at a guide. It was more than just a non-viable build. After trying 10 different rune combinations, I had not found one rune word, and I only figured out one recipe for the cube. Deckard Cain had way too much faith in me. Most players, after 15 hours approaching 20, will have watched a YouTube guide, Twitch gameplay, searched the web, or all of the above. After finding out that putting nearly all of my points into strength is not the ideal build, I had a decision to make, and I could respec and continue, but I got to thinking, how far could I get in 15 to 20 hours if I know what I'm looking for? In the background will be a sped up speed run of an assassin going from one fresh start all the way to beating Baal on normal difficulty, and I'll show a little clip of me emptying out my entire inventory and everything onto my barbarian, so there's no shared stash, nothing going on, no funny business. While this is playing, I think I'm ready to give it a rating for what I believe. Now let's just get into some specifics. I realize I don't have Nightmare or Hellbeat. I haven't farmed for hours at the end game, and I've actually never been to the cow level. But this is just my first initial rating, not the final rating. So what does that mean for you, and what does that mean for me? Well, this is more of my first impressions of a pass or fail. Then I'll deep dive into my passing games to get into the nitty-gritty of what I believe to be the truly best aRPG of 2025. Now let's get into the specifics then, shall we? When it comes to scoring this game, it's a simple pass or fail on the initial metric, and so I think just to make this easy, gameplay, depth, accessibility, replayability, guided playthroughs, all extreme passes. That's a pass, it's a pass, 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 pass. I love this game, and I really wanted to play it through in every character in every class, and I think that this game deserves replay later this year when I'm doing my final rankings for what I believe to be the best aRPG of 2025. The speedrun is an assassin, and I'm following the leveling guide on maxroll.gg. My goal is to beat the game, because I never actually beat Diablo. I never beat Baal on my barbarian in over 15 hours. So let's see how long it takes, having never done that before, and trying to follow this guide. For the most part, we put most of our points into Vitality and then Fire Blast. The guide said to do Countess runs to farm up for runes. Now the thing is, after I did the first run, I already had the 2-socket helm, chest, and short staff, so I thought it was a good idea to farm a couple more times to get some of the runes that I needed for later in the run. By the time I got to Andariel, I already had Wake of Fire unlocked, and I just set those traps and got to lighting things on fire.
Stay a while and listen.
4-foot boots? Heck yeah. I found Act 2 this time around a lot easier having extra vitality. I found that the lightning people just weren't absolutely melting me and almost one-tapping me. By the time I got to Duriel, I actually felt like I could go toe-to-toe with the dude. Act 3, the same as my barbarian as it was on this mercenary. Found it really short and actually really easy. I mean, the hardest part is just trying to navigate your way through the maze. They do a good job of making the jungle feel like getting lost in the jungle. Mephisto wasn't much of a challenge. He did not want these hands, I'll tell you that.
Mephisto, you were no match for me.
What I found to be the most difficult in Act 4 was actually Diablo, which is quite opposite on my barbarian. I was farming and was just struggling. But with all this extra vitality that I now have on my assassin, I did cruise through this as well in less than an hour. Following that, getting to Act 5 with Mephisto, I will say that this cinematic was absolutely awesome. Just like the other ones, it was a 10 out of 10. Awesome to watch. I absolutely loved it. And then I just got through and started grinding. I was really surprised with how much content was in this. I know that previously, back in the day, that this part was actually a DLC, and wow, was it packed with content. Finally clocking in just over an hour, I did end up finishing it off here, and yeah, I was having a hard time putting this one down. I just wanted to keep playing. I beat normal difficulty in 6 hours, 23 minutes, and 5 seconds. Clocking in, so that was a good run for me. More than cut my time in half to where I was in my barbarian. Regardless, this is what we're calling it. This is a good start to the best action RPG of 2025. This is going to get revisited later when I'm trying to figure out which one is the best. Comment down below which game you think is next. Comment down below which game you'd like to see next, or simply just comment what you want to see more of when it comes to Diablo 2. Until next time, later noobs.